What is up again, everyone? This is your host, Limitless, coming right back at you with another episode of Limitless Talk. A lot has been happening, guys, and we've got a few stuff to go through in today's episode, but I'm gonna try my very, very best to, go through everything as quickly as much as I can while ensuring, I'm showing you guys the relevant information so you guys can go back afterwards and have a look in more details. First of all, you know how we always do. I hope I'm, meeting you all in good grace again. Peace, love, and light to you all out there. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, you know how we do. We like to go over all the funny stuff first, and there's quite a bit, to go through today. First one here, we've got one of the usual clowns in town. You know what I'm saying? Right here, this morning I tested positive for blah blah. I'm feeling fine, and I'll continue to work remotely this week while following public health guidelines. Everyone, please get blah and get blah. One thing he didn't say in there is whether he's blah blahed up or not. He's not saying that. But hey, under the guise of public health, hey, that's what they're doing all this under, guys. I can't stress this enough. If you pay attention to the articles, you'll find out keywords. And the keywords, when you go look up what they mean, all these things start to make sense. You can put the puzzle pieces together. Moving on, we've got exclusive. UK must upskill workforce to prepare for digital led world, tech leaders say. Guys, look, if you're still waiting for the government to upskill you in order to be useful in the digital economy that's coming, hey, I feel sorry for you, man. I feel sorry for you. There's nothing else for me to say. We have to take matters into our own hands. We can't keep waiting for government to tell us what to do, when to do it. You understand what I'm saying? If we keep acknowledging the government the way we acknowledge the government, hey, things will never change. They will keep doing what they're doing, enrich themselves while they keep stealing our money to do these things. You understand? Now, upskilling, hey, I'm sure they've got friends out there with businesses in training people and stuff like that. And what are they gonna do? Just like we saw at the start of the pandemic, they're gonna give money to these guys, and nobody's really gonna know where the money's gone to. So moving on, we've got EU to propose microchips law in early February. EU chiefs say, guys, we've been talking about this for the longest. I mean, the people in the early 2000s, even the 90s, that were talking about these things, what did people say? Ah, you're crazy. Ooh, a conspiracy theorist. Guys, look, there's no such thing as conspiracy theorist. You understand what I'm saying? A conspiracy is when two or more people gather together and conspire in secret to commit a crime. You understand what I'm saying? Now the government dictate what a crime is. You understand? I mean, heck, you can't even do drugs, at your own free will without the government saying you're committing a crime. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to understand that uh, everything the government does is to take more control. And microchipping people, if that's not the ultimate control, I don't know what is. Moving on, we've got the plot to hand the crypto industry to the big banks. Biden administration's secret crypto strategy is becoming clear. It wants to force stablecoin issuers into the arms of the big banking. Again, some of these articles are funny because if you go back to the background and look at who's funding the crypto market, it's the big banks. And where the big banks getting the money from? From the central banks, from the Federal Reserve. Whoever is in charge of creating money in your country. they the ones funding all of these things. So saying they want to hand over the industry to the big look, that's already happened. All right. Anyways, with all that being said, guys, let's take a quick break and then we'll quickly go through everything else we've got. Guys, welcome back, guys. Appreciate you all listening in. Again, this is your host, Limitless. This is that show, Limitless Talks, where we talk about politics, economics, and propaganda. And of course, guys, peace, love, and light to you all out there. Remember, like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, family, loved ones, haters, wherever they may be. We all need to understand how the world works, because once we do, we understand that, hey, there's nothing new under the sun. They've planned everything to the T. They're always planning things 5, 10, 15 years, ahead. So if we really want to know what's going on, we got to stay lockstep with the people who are making the decisions, so we're not left behind. So just a quick overview of the market currently. Looking at the Bank of England, wherever you might be, hey, go onto the central bank for your country and look at what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? Currently, inflation base rate, interest rate is still sitting at 0.25% base. And quantitative easing, reverse repo, whatever you want to call it, is sitting at 895 billion, part of which 20 billion is corporate bonds. And lastly, inflation is still sitting at 5.4% when the target is 2%. And then again, we know that 5.4% is a big fat lie. Inflation is higher than that. Again, how long does it take them to update this thing? Is it monthly? I don't think so, because that's been sitting like that since last year. So, um, moving on again, we've got the Federal Reserve Bank in America. Again, they're still doing their repo, guys. They're still propping up the market. They're still printing that money. Majority of it goes in the stock market. The remaining percentage, about 20% or so, 10-20%, hey, they dump it into the crypto market. So it's nothing new at all. When you look at the current bond yield rate for the US, UK, and the German market, you can see right from the get-go, US is kind of flat when you get to the 7-10 years, but the 6 months, 1 year, you can see those are slightly up. You understand? And then of course when you get to the 20-30 years, you can see those are slightly up as well. Looking at UK bond market as well, fairly flat. um, the central bank committee, they're gonna be having a meeting soon in February, so we, you can expect that they would wanna leave the rate fairly flat, just so not to spook the market in any way, shape, or form. And when you look at the German market, that's just completely flat. So there hasn't been any major jumps. If there has been, hey, you would have seen it in the market. uh, so looking currently at the stock market, you can see the Dow. Uh, the Dow is up 0.6%. S&P 500 1.2%. Nasdaq 2.35%. Again, all the money printing. What does it do? They use it to prop the market. They gotta keep it leveled. Otherwise, hey, everything's gonna free fall down straight away. Uh, Moving on to the crypto market as well. As you can see, green days, they kept the rates flat. That's why we're green. Hey, if the rates go up, phew, we're not gonna be green. As we can see as well, market cap slowly grinding up, slowly. So let's keep an eye out on the indicators. Volume, again, volume is relatively low right now. Uh, you can see Tether and USDC, they're pretty much flat as well. No movement. They're just sitting at that $1 mark. Remember, when the stable coin go above the $1 mark, uh, the market will drop. If the stable coin goes below the $1 mark, the market goes up. So it's just that simple. So a quick view at the Bitcoin chart. As we mentioned previously, why does it do that? Like, is it what I did? No, no, does that all the time. Anyways, like I said previously, we're likely to see uh, a up trend a bit, and then we're likely to come back down and retest this. I'm still calling this retest. It's very, very, very possible that we are going to test this long-term support right here. And to be honest, it's it's something we should all, you know, uh, hope for, rather than think it's not gonna happen. Because if you look right here, uh, MACD, MACD is definitely on the negative side, so the potential for that to continue is very much likely there. And again, when we look at the RSI, there's still, even though we're sitting on the support trend line, there's a good possibility we're gonna come back and test uh, the bottom right there. So that's something to keep an eye out for. So moving on to a little bit of crypto news. Right, guys, we know it. The new month is approaching, so I've got this up to sort of give us an understanding on what happens at the beginning of every month, because we know we go through the cycle of the futures and the options in the market, and we know those affect the price of the market. You understand what I'm saying? So once we know the expiration date for these futures and options, we know the market dips, because hey, they gotta pay people out, huh? So we're ready and we plan ourselves accordingly. The 5th of every month, CME uses Bitcoin as collateral. And if you see here, financial and collateral management, to meet the needs of our clearing firms and end clients, we accept a diverse portfolio of assets as collateral for deposit into trading accounts. Accepted collaterals include US dollars, select foreign currencies, US treasuries, select foreign sovereign debt, asset backed securities, and agency bonds. You see, Bitcoin will fall under asset backed securities. Uh, Don't let anyone fool you. There are investors that built the Bitcoin blockchain, and a lot of the coin is sitting in their hands, aka the banks. So, guys, I just put that there just so we are aware. 5th of every month, Bitcoin as collateral, the market dips. Uh, so moving on, we've got Coinbase users can borrow 1 million with Bitcoin as collateral and no credit check. This is from November 4th, 2021. So guys, it's not CME that's just doing this. Coinbase is also doing it, and there's even more products out there that you can use Bitcoin as a collateral on. So guys, understand what's going on. The digital age is already here. It's already here. So let's pay attention to what's going on. So moving on, we've got reflecting on Coinbase Ventures record year in 2021. So this article goes into the financial year for Coinbase, how they've done, what they've invested in, especially with their ventures capital department. So As we can see here, all prior years combined, 2012 to 2020, Coinbase invested, less than 30 billion, right? And that's 2012 to 2020 combined, less than 30 billion, which means, over the years between that time frame, they would have spent a couple of billions, up until 2020. But in 2021 alone, Coinbase damn near spent 30 billion on investment. You understand? And what do we know about Coinbase? Who's behind Coinbase? Yes, the big banks. The big banks are behind Coinbase. So, guys, if you look right here, Coinbase Venture Portfolio by category, you've got platform plus developers tools. You've got DeFi, you've got NFT stroke metaverse, you've got CeFi, you've got protocol plus Web3 infrastructure, and then you have others. So, guys, take your time, go through the article, look at what they've spent their money on. Hey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Copy the guys with the money. You get me? Follow the big money, and you can never ever lose. Moving on to Ripple's fourth quarter market report. This is quite interesting. So obviously, Ripple's talking about how the market has been great for them, blah 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 blah. They talk about a summary of the crypto market. As early as 2020 into 2021, and of course, they went into the various different major projects and collaborations that went down. So if you just go through these, you'll see a lot of that. And one of the things that caught my eyes is mainly what they say right here. Ripple has been a buyer of XRP in the secondary market and expects to continue to undertake purchases in the future at market prices as on demand liquidity continues to gain global momentum. So, you know, uh, that right there, it lets you know. As much as Ripple's dumping XRP onto the market, which is why the price, is not going up that much, they're also buying. You understand what I'm saying? They are buying. They are buying this asset as well because they know what it's gonna be worth in the future. You understand what I'm saying? So next, we've got leases. Certain wallets are being used for XRP sales, also provide short-term leases to market makers. This is worth noting given they are often incorrectly interpreted by market participants as sales. Leases are ultimately returned to Ripple. Total leases outstanding in Q4 2021 were 88 million XRP. Guys, it's no brainer. You understand what I'm saying? When that liquidity is out there, of course we know it boosts the price. But once it goes back into the pocket, into the wallet, when it's not being used, we know the price drops back down. So, this can sort of give us an idea of how Ripple is looking to basically uh uh you know strategize for the future. You understand what I'm saying? How they're gonna spread the use of XRP. So what we might see is these banks might not necessarily own the XRPs, but rather own it so that the liquidity is there for when the different institutions need it. If you catch my drift. Moving on to escrow. In Q4 2021, 3 billion XRP were released out of escrow, 1 billion each month, in line with prior quarters and the official escrow arrangement. So, in total, 2.4 billion XRP were returned and subsequently put into new escrow contract throughout the quarter. For more information on the escrow process, see here. So, guys, they're still releasing into escrow and they're still locking up as well, but we can see they're not locking up as much as they're releasing. So, and lastly here that I want to point out, sorry, is interoperability. If you see right here, XRPL will soon be integrated with Allbridge, linking the XRPL to 12 different blockchains, including Solana, Terra, Avalanche, and Polygon. This integration this integration allows XRP to transfer seamlessly onto these chains, as well as making it possible for assets like Solana, Luna, and USDC to be transferred onto XRPL. We know the end game with a lot of these ledgers. They're gonna move any token, any token. You understand what I'm saying? So it's no brainer where you should be looking to invest long term, not for quick gains, but we're talking 5, 10, 15 years down the line. Hey, you will reap the profit, guaranteed. Right, moving on to some more uh, political news. We've got China backs Russia security concerns in crisis with West over Ukraine. If one thing we understand is the new world order is changing. The West will no longer be the superpower of the world. The superpower of the world will now be the East, which is mainly China and all its counterparts. You know, every other country that they work with, you know, they're all gonna be the new superpower. And most importantly, Russia. Russia and China both have the same agenda, and they're going to no end to stop, as you'll see in this next article. China warns of risk of military conflict with US over Taiwan. One thing we need to understand about, all these different conflict we're hearing about is a lot of the territories that these guys are looking to take back that were originally annexed from them. You understand what I'm saying? If you go back to the early 1900s and stuff like that, you'll see that this this real estate were annexed from these empires when they were still empires. You understand what I'm saying? And not necessarily like big empire, but like in their own little corner doing their own thing. So moving on, we've got the technology of seeing and shooting your enemies. What amongst the sensor poses new challenges, says Shanchak Joshi, whoever that is. Guys, we know with the implementation of blockchain, robotics, algorithms, drones, and all sorts, uh, radars, sensors. Look, all of that, nobody will be able to hide from anyone. If these guys want to see you where you're at, what you're doing, hey, they're gonna see you. As much as they're upgrading these technologies and all that, they're also upgrading us humans, which is what the booyah is for. You see the job that making people collect. Hey, I keep saying it, but people don't want to believe it. Hey, they're gonna see you in your house, wherever you might be in your house, whether you're in the kitchen or the toilet. Hey, they'll be able to see you. All right. People don't want to believe it yet, but hey, everything's all this conspiracy theory until 5, 10 years, or nowadays it's even quicker than that. 6 months, 1 year, before it becomes fact. So hey, those who have ears hear clearly, and those who have eyes, hey, see clearly. So you don't get bamboozled and jacked into this system, because hey, that's your freedom literally out the window. Your freedom, your sovereignty, whatever you want to, being a free man, hey, it's out the window, and you're not getting it back. It's just that simple, right? So to some more interesting news, we've got BSTX receives SEC approval for blockchain powered securities exchange. Blockchain technology will now be powering a fully automated national exchange for the first time. Guys, like we've been saying, the job of Coinbase is to tokenize the stock market. That's the job of Coinbase. And ultimately, that's the end goal, to tokenize every single thing on the stock market and bring it onto blockchain, so these things can be traded 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, just like crypto is right now. The market will never sleep. And it will be global. It will be on a global scale. It wouldn't be a situation whereby, oh, this market is closed. No, nope, because it will be algorithms and artificial intelligence running it. You understand what I'm saying? No humans involved. It will just run 24/7. You understand what I'm saying? Moving on, we've got Visa says crypto linked card usage hits 2.5 billion in its first quarter of 2022. We know this is only gonna increase. We're seeing a lot of these exchanges release their own crypto cards that can be spent directly in supermarkets and stores, as long as it's accepted. So, guys, we know what the agenda is. So we don't need to wait for them to say you can do this, or we don't need to wait for mass adoption before we start to position ourselves and get involved in these things. Because uh, the earlier you get into the market, um, the more you make, basically. You understand what I'm saying? Get in at the bottom and sell at the top. It's the basic principles. Moving on, we've got China selects pilot zones application areas for blockchain project. So, Beijing, China selected 15 pilot zones and identified several areas of applications to carry out the innovative application of blockchain technology, according to a joint government statement on Friday. The pilot zone include areas in China's major city of Beijing and Shanghai, as well as Guangzhou and Shenzhou in the southern Guangdong and Shandong province, respectively. According to statement on the Cyberspace Administration's official WeChat social media account, apart from the pilot zone, 164 entities, including hospitals, universities, and companies such as Site GM, Wang Automobile Co., China National Offshore Oil Co., Beijing Gas Group Co., and the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China Limited were selected to carry out blockchain pilot projects. And right here, they listed the industries that these entities are in, which is manufacturing, energy, government and tax services, law, education, health, trade, and finance, and cross-border finance. Guys, that's pretty much all the industries that make the world go round and round and round. It's right there in your face. It's just that dead simple. Okay, look for the cryptos that serve, or should I say rather, the blockchain that serve each of these industries: manufacturing, energy, government and taxes, law, education, health and trade and finance and cross-border finance. Look for the cryptos that serve all these different industries and position yourself. All right, right here you can take this and use it as a basis for your portfolio. It's literally that simple. You understand what I'm saying? If you're struggling on how to set your portfolio, you can use this and decide on how much you want to allocate to each of them. Look at how much market capitalization is in each and every single one of these industries. Then again, you can use that to determine how much of your fund you want to allocate to each of those industry. So the higher the market capitalization for the industry, the more of your fund you want to allocate to it, if that makes sense. So moving on finally to ISO 2002 migration timeline. As we know, it's 2022. We know this is the year that ISO will start to, be utilized within the economy. It's already started. If you look at this map right here, it shows you pretty much the map of the entire globe, and which countries have implemented ISO, or the status the countries are in right now. And if you see light blue means it's been implemented, and as you go down it gives you the date that the implementation is gonna happen, up to no current plans to migrate. So as we can see right there, if you go if you look here, you'll see that China, India, uh, Colombia, um, what other countries, Japan, uh, which other ones? I think there's another one right here. Uh, Jordan, you know, they're all up and running. And if you see the light blues as well, uh, they're more or less gonna be up and running by the end of the year. But one thing that really strikes me is that if you look here, Colombia has been live on ISO 2002 since 2007. I mean, even China was not live in 2007. That goes to show you that you see these technologies, they trial and test them in developing countries before they even use them where they want to use them. You understand what I'm saying? This goes to show that when we think we know something, we're far behind. Like I said in the beginning, these guys work 5, 10, 15, 20 years in advance. That's how well they plan. And that's how any of us should plan, really. But uh the system have done a good job of not educating people enough. And again, your education is in your own hands. You can't rely on the government to educate you, or anyone for that matter to educate you on anything. It's your job, your duty, your responsibility to educate yourself and your families and friends. You understand what I'm saying? So, moving on right here, and each of these countries, by the way, if you click on them, let's take America for example, because you know America is quite important. If you click on them, it tells you the migration date, when it's likely to happen. And then if you click on read more, that should open. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, I'll just click on it then. So if you click on read more, it will basically take you through a timeline of when this is gonna happen. And as we know, United States is the main player we're all waiting for to basically jump on this new wave. And it gives you a link to the resource if you want to get more in depth as to the plans, how it's going to be carried out. You can go into that and look at it yourself. As well, we know ISO 2002 adoption program by Swift is, on the way this year. So a lot of the European countries are gonna be online this year, and then over to the Americas, and then a lot of them will be jumping online by 2023 as well. But the main goal is uh, by 2025 they want to be complete with everything. They want everything to be fully ported over. And if we understand one thing, guys, hey, that's gonna be a big distraction while all of this is going on. So this is Bank of England's own summary on the ISO 2002 migration. And if you go down and just read, you have the different payment methods, RTGS, settlement and reserve account. You have the CHAPS, direct payment uh, method, and so on. So uh, this has been listed out for the different institutions that are using these payment methods and what's expected of them. Obviously, all of it is not listed here, but as you can see, the policy document, if you want to read in more details, it goes into details as to what needs to happen, what stage it's gonna happen. And if you look at the timeline, you'll see right here, it says payment services providers will be required to send certain enhanced data with CHAPS payment from summer 2024 for housing payments and November 2025 for all payment. And that's if they are not migrated yet. You understand what I'm saying? If they're not migrated yet, then they'll need to include certain information within their payments if they're still using the legacy uh, messaging service. So, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope I haven't bored you too much with all of that. I know it's a lot of information to assimilate. I've tried my best to try and show the important aspect of what I'm trying to present. So, with all that being said, I appreciate you all listening in. Peace, love, and light to every single one of you out there. Please, please, please remember to share with your friends, family, and loved ones, and especially your haters because hey, they need it too. You understand what I'm saying? So, with all that being said, I'll catch you on another episode. Peace.